Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kevin with Balance and Body Restoration. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you our 10-minute follow along glute strengthening exercise routine, where we will guide you through 3 of our favorite glute strengthening exercises that we commonly prescribe to our patients who are struggling with chronic lower back pain. Because what we typically see for people who are struggling with chronic lower back pain is one of the major underlying causes that often goes unaddressed are weak or deactivated glutes. However, once we're actually able to strengthen and activate the glutes with proper form and proper technique, we're actually able to help heal the back, because oftentimes the lower back is trying to overcompensate for the weakness of the glutes. But by restoring the function of the glutes and taking the pressure off of the back, we create a much healthier environment for the back to be able to heal on its own over the course of time. So with that said, let's get right into the first exercise for today. Okay, so the first exercise in our glute strengthening video is going to be hip extensions on all fours. So what Twee's going to do is she's going to start by just kind of sliding her right foot back as far as she can, and then slowly lifting her leg in the air while really trying to focus on squeezing her glutes. And we're looking for about a 5-second hold. So 3, 2, 1, and slowly pull that leg back in. And we're going to go for about 5 repetitions on each leg. So she's going to demonstrate her right leg 4 more times. So again, she's going to start by sliding the leg back, kicking her leg up as high as you can, but also making sure that her core stays tight and her back stays straight. 3, 2, 1, pull back in. Let's go for 3 more. Slide, lift, and kick and hold. And you really want to try to squeeze your muscles as tight as you can. Really focus on your abdominals. Focus on feeling the engagement through your glute, while also making sure your back stays straight and your hips stay level. Pull back in. Let's do 2 more times. Again, if you start feeling your back starting to arch, if you feel your hips aren't able to maintain level, then you don't have to go up as high. Just make sure that everything is staying flat and everything is staying straight. 2, 1, and down. Let's do 1 more time. And take things slow. Really concentrate on your form and make sure that you are trying to limit any movement that is occurring through your back and through your core, and trying to make sure that those hips are staying as level as possible. 2, 1, pull back in. All right, now let's demonstrate on the left side a couple times so everybody else can follow along. So slide that foot back, lift the leg up in the air, hold tight and still and squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1, and pull back in. All right, nice job. 4 more. Slide left leg back, squeeze that glute, lift the leg up. Nice job getting that pelvis low. Keep those abs tight, keep that back straight. 3, 2, 1, pull that leg back in. All right, it's back again. Slide the left foot back, kick that heel up in the air, squeeze that glute. Make sure those hips stay level. Make sure that core stays tight, and hold it tight at the top. Keep those abs tight, and back down. All right, let's do 2 more repetitions. Again, guys, this exercise is harder than it looks. It's really difficult to really maintain the stability of that core and stability of that pelvis. So you can see here, Twee's actually starting to shake and really start to quiver, losing the back a little bit because this is repetition number 9. But that's okay. Just make sure your abs stays tight. Make sure you don't push through any pain through your back, and try to keep the hips as level as possible. Squeeze that glute back, hold it tight. 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, so that is it for our first round of glute strengthening exercises. Now let's move on to doing some glute bridges. Okay, so now let's get into doing a couple of glute bridges. So we're going to be doing 5 repetitions. We're going to be going for about a 5-second hold at the top, and we're going to be walking you through the instructions. So Tweet, go ahead and start by just flattening your back into the mat by engaging abdominals. Perfect. And just kind of like slightly dig your heels into the ground. Not too much, but just a little bit to just kind of rotate and just kind of get that pelvis set. Now let's have you dig through your heels and try to have you lift your hips up into the air as high as you can while keeping the core tight and keeping the back straight. And squeeze everything as tight as you can at the top and hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's come back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Perfect. All right, rest for a second. Now let's start by flattening the back into the floor. Little bit of pressure in through your heels. And now let's lift those hips in the air and really try to squeeze and feel those glutes as tight as you can at the top. Keep that back straight and keep that core tight. Hold it tight for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. All right, let's do that 3 more times. Now, for those of you doing this at home, if you start to feel your core shaking, if you start to feel your things just start to quiver, that's exactly what we want you to feel. That's a good sign that your muscles are activating and everything is kind of turning on. Good job. And making sure that if you feel any tightness in your back, make sure you don't go up as high and just really focus on centering on the activation of those glute muscles. Okay, let's squeeze and hold at the top. Hold it tight, tight core. 3, 2, 1, back down. Perfect. Now let's just do one more repetition. Back stays straight, glutes stay tight, lift up towards the ceiling. Again, notice how she's not going high. Notice how straight her back is. And notice the kind of shaking and quivering that you can see in her core at the top. 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Perfect. All right, so that's it for glute bridges. And again, 5 repetitions times 5 sets is all you really need to do at the start. If you start, feeling like you're getting a little bit better at this or starting to get easier, then start to progress toward to 10-second holds over time. So let's get into the last exercise for today. Okay, so now let's get into doing a couple of reverse mini lunges to finish our program. So we're going to start by kicking the right leg back. So she's going to kick her right leg back and she's going to be on her toes and she's going to start by squeezing her right glute. And then she's going to try to pull her pelvis up by tightening her abs, just to kind of level out her belt line. And just this is to make sure that your back stays straight and your core stays tight. And then just do a slight little bend of the right knee. We don't need to go all the way down, but just enough to feel a nice pull and stretch in the muscles of the front of the hip, and hold it for 3, 2, 1, and reset. And now let's demonstrate 4 more times. Sweet. So she's going to be doing 4 more times. Right leg back, tighten up the right glute, tighten up those abs, zip up that pelvis, and just a little mini dip with that back knee just to get a nice stretch of the front and to really challenge those glutes and those core and those back muscles to engage properly. 3, 2, 1, and reset. All right, and let's do 3 more times. Again, just a little mini dip of that knee is completely fine. But the most important things is to make sure that you are maintaining a nice flat neutral pelvis, that core stays tight, that glute stays tight the entire time, making sure the back stays straight as well. 3, 2, 1, and forward. All right, let's do 2 more. And this is a great exercise for anybody that spends a lot of time sitting, or it's a good stretch to do if you're driving a lot. And it's, again, a really good exercise just to help you activate and strengthen your glutes while also stretching your hip flexor, while also helping become much more aware of the relationship between your back, your hips, and your pelvis. Let's do 1 more time, tweet. Tighten that glute, level up that pelvis, zip up those abs, mini dip with that back knee, and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, let's turn around. Let's switch sides. Now let's demonstrate 1 round on the left. Left leg back. Tighten up that left glute. Nice job zipping up. And go and bend that left knee ever so slightly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. And go and rotate towards your right just a little bit, tweet, just so that we're centered. Perfect. Let's do 4 more times on the left. Kick the left leg back, left glute tight, zip up that pelvis, tighten up those abs. You can guys see how straight her back looks and how level her pelvis is. That's exactly what we want. Slight bend of that back knee. Get a nice pull and stretch of that left hip flexor and quad. 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. Let's do 3 more. This is one of the favorite exercise for so many of our patients who struggle with standing and walking, who just struggle with engaging the glutes. Again, this is just one of the best corrective exercises that we find for people, of pretty much like any age group, so long as your knees can tolerate it and so long as you're able to do this with proper form. Okay, twice more, Twee. Great job. Tight glutes. Zip up that pelvis. Again, that zipping up of that pelvis and tightening of those abs is the most important part of this exercise, while making sure those glutes just stay contracted the entire time. Mini dip there. Again, this mini dip is to make sure that you get a nice stretch of those hip flexors. Huge part of this exercise as well. 2, 1, reset. All right, and let's end with one last repetition. Left leg back, tight glutes, zip up that pelvis to lock in those abs, which will flatten out your back. Mini dip of the left knee. Hold it for 3, 2, 1, and come back up and reset. All right, guys, so that's it for our 3 glute strengthening follow along program. Hope this helps, and we'll see you again next time. Take care and have a wonderful day.